have much more time tonight.
Yeah, I'm in. We start this already.
We can't start until the party leader starts, which is Adam.
Yeah. Hold up a second. I'm just... Oh, give me a second.
Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Phil, just take the role of party leader.
I can honestly say that it makes gaming more exciting than it's ever been. Ever. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Hold on, let's try that. Now, there you go. Take a second to load again.
Video Game Book Club. This is the full spoiler discussion for Batman Arkham Asylum. Joining me today are my esteemed guests and some less esteemed guests. I'll let you decide who's who. I'm not here to pass that kind of judgment. We've got Thunderpump. Say hello.
What's up, guys?
We've got Trav G.
Hello. Good to be here.
And we've got Smeagol.
What's up, y'all?
We also have Dan, who's also covering our production. Everyone say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
I was waiting for you to say maybe we have Smeagol, because we just have two anonymous black boxes that are on the screen right now. We weren't sure if he was actually going to be there or not, but it worked.
Yes. We don't seem to be able to get avatars for our non-video participants, but hey, we're here, we're streaming, we're live, we are doing this.
We're just going to play
My
Guess
very
the
first
Canadian.
question who's the best Batman? Who is the best Batman?
Are we talking like in
There are
all
no
aspects of
There
Batman?
are no rules.
That's a hard
Wait,
one.
see, no, so I want to emphasize first thing first. He said, who's the best Batman, not who's the best Bruce Wayne, who's the best Batman. And I'm going to start off, I was going to say Christian Bale. Christian Bale was.
No.
As a kid of the 80s, I'm going to give equal stock here to Michael Keaton and my man Adam West.
Y'all are going to hate me.
Okay, I can dig it.
I had a lot of good memories of watching that campy Batman show growing up, and as bad as it is, it's incredibly good.
I like how this just got political right off the bat. I mean, Infus and Nick and I immediately had to stop Star Wars discussion beforehand once Smeagol. Then you come right out with it. I didn't know we were going to start just like with a napalm.
That's how we roll here, Dan. That's how we roll.
I don't know about who's the best Batman. That's a hard decision, but I think my favorite as far as the movies and stuff, I would have to say Christian Bale.
I like Affleck.
Affleck was the best Bruce Wayne, period.
That's a hot take.
I don't know why. I like them as both. I think Christian Bale was a better Bruce Wayne, but I don't know. I think I just really like Ben Affleck as an actor. I know that sounds horrible, but I genuinely enjoy all of his movies.
I mean, it could have been worse. You could have picked the new guy.
I don't even know. Oh yeah, Twilight. Yeah, not him.
Have you watched Ziegler?
Who?
You can't defend Affleck. You can't defend Affleck if you ever
I don't think I've seen that movie, to be honest.
I think only 10 people have. So
I'm one of the 10, and it ruined the director of Midnight Run, the director of the first Beverly Hills Cop. His career got sunk by that movie, and he hasn't done anything in 21 years since then. That's how bad it was. So
we've got Lego Dad in Twitch chat defending Pattinson.
I see. Lego Dad just stuck with his brand and said Will Arnett.
Will Arnett was actually a pretty good.
I don't mind.
Yeah, it was.
Either.
It's not a bad.
Yeah.
It's not a bad take.
It's not a bad take.
It's a different take, but it's a good take.
All right. So
All right,
here's my
let's-
my thing, right? Like I'm just gonna do my 2 minutes on Pattinson and call it a day as we're through like 2/3 of the Penguin. The last 10 minutes of that movie was the best part of that movie, was the thesis statement of that movie, and also made me wonder what happened to the 2 hours and 50 minutes beforehand. It has me more interested in what's coming, because when it's like the end of the movie said, this can't be that dark and brooding, and like Batman can't be that dark and brooding. Like that was my takeaway from that that last 10 minutes of the movie. I'm like, wait, so does Matt Reeves get it, and we're not going to be stuck in like just this black and red that hurts my eyes for the next 3-hour movie here, or what's going to happen? I don't know. Like they realize like, oh, this can't all be just violence, revenge, anger, and misery, and like they actually have to do stuff and help people and things. I don't know. I don't know. There's something there that I want to know what they're doing now.
I have to go back and watch that because when it first came out, we went to a really late showing and made the mistake of taking edibles before, so we did not make it through the entire movie. We were definitely nodding off towards the end, but yeah.
Dan, how is the Penguin? Because I've heard good things about that show.
It's had like two. It was okay for the first episode. It was pretty good, and then it had two really good episodes.
I definitely want to watch it at some point. I'm getting back into the Batman universe, and that's on my to-do list.
All right.
It's what's weird is having Agatha on one hand, and then the Penguin on the other one. And I think the Penguin's tone's a little bit better than the Batman's tone was. Like it's a little. Again, it's just like we're way too dark and way too up our own backwards in some of this stuff right now.
All right, moving right along. I do love the discussion here, but let's talk about the actual video game here. So, who, if anyone, was this their first play through?
Me.
Thunder. All right, I want to get your take first, because thanks for the rest of this. This is a replay.
I genuinely enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, other games have taken on the play style. It was very similar, like to the Spider-Man like play style as far as like the combat and the selections and stuff like that. Same thing with Hogwarts Legacy. We have that similar battle style and stuff. I feel it was a little slow moving. Like I know Batman's not the fastest superhero, but sometimes I just want him to move a little faster. But the gameplay was good. The storyline was good. The voice acting was great. I obviously played the PC version, and I thought the graphics were great. I may attempt to go through it and do it and platinum it. I probably won't try to speedrun that, but
have fun. We'll talk about difficulty in a bit.
But yeah, I liked it. It was good.
All right, let's pass over to the repeat players. So, well, let's start with Smeagol. I know Smeagol's always got opinions. Just high-level impressions.
I mean, I first played this game 15 years ago when it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I thought this game was spectacular. And, playing it again now 15 years later, I still love it. It's still an amazing game. Yeah, there's little things here and there that, after 15 years, like, yeah, it could be improved upon, but I mean, just the gameplay, the combat mechanics are great. The stealth mechanics are great. So much fun just, going around and doing inverted takedowns. The voice acting, and we might get more on this later, but I mean, the voice acting is top notch.
We all owe apologies to Kevin Conroy right now, by the way. That, like, I just went to live action in my head. I know I made the joke about Will Arnett, but all of us, we can each apologize to Kevin Conroy's estate as we go through this. Sorry for cutting you off, Smeagol, but we all
You're not wrong. Kevin, as far as voice acting for Batman, there is no beating Kevin Conroy. He is the voice of Batman. And, I mean, I think probably my favorite thing about the game, though, is just the lore. Just being able to go and explore, and there's just so much. Like, there's characters that I never knew about before playing this game. He's got such a vast rogue gallery. and just being able to learn about all these, and obviously with the main villains, you got also the interview tapes and whatnot. But yeah, it's just so great being able to learn more about Batman and his universe.
I think that's what makes Batman such a great superhero. Like, a lot of people don't know that there are more than just the Joker, just Harley Quinn. Like, there's so many people that he goes up against in the comics. It's insane.
Best joke in the Lego Batman movies when they're going through like the like down to Condiment Man, and Zach Galifianakis' Joker's like, no, they're all real. It's worth a Google.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jude's got a point. I mean, Abed is a great Batman too.
Yes, for sure. Abed from Community, for those not of anyone catching the restream here, definitely shout outs. Love Community, great show, 6 seasons and a movie. But back to the
Not
game.
the gas leak here. We don't talk about the gas leak here.
Not the gas leak here. All right. Who's next? Dan, you want to give his impressions? Travis? I don't care. Someone go.
Trav,
I think
go for it. Sorry.
Smeagol summed it up really well. For me, I first played it a year or two ago, just when I bought it on a super good deal on the Xbox store. I'd always wanted to play the trilogy, and I'm still making my way through it. But so I played Asylum a year or whatever ago. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, like especially the learning about the Batman lore, right? Like those character biographies were, for me, top notch. Because yeah, I was aware there was other people, like from watching the campy Batman way back when, but they're just such a periphery in the kind of mainstream. Learning like there's a Calendar Man was, I mean, what a ridiculous character, but also kind of cool to see and learn. I would say on the replay though, the first time playing it through, I was excited, but this time I was still excited, but it was just so linear. Like you just kind of kept going in one direction. There wasn't a whole lot of the open world that I think we've just come to get used to nowadays, but that's the fact that it's a 15-year-old game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think if it was to be remade, you'd see a lot more open exploration and just all of the buildings like the Arkham Mansion, intensive treatment. I think they'd really kind of just expand on them a bit more. Because so often when you're going through these, all the different rafters and the furnace ducts, it's just one way.
Yeah.
Another quick aside. I want to talk to the architect on these buildings.
Yeah. Sure.
So many of the places are only accessible by a grapple gun. Like, put on a set of stairs, dude. And then Batman is locked out of so many offices. Like, I feel Batman should be able to have a pick and doesn't have to go through a vent.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my hot take.
Great comments. All right, let's hear from Dan here.
All right, so I played this. I did not get it immediately in August of 2009. I got it. It was probably for my birthday kind of thing in October. I wanted to wait and make sure it didn't suck because we had a long history of just terrible adaptations and terrible intellectual property games that, listen, you just did not jump into this, kids. It's not how it worked. That said, when I turned it on and the opening introductions happening there, and I went, oh my God, they got Mark Hamill and they got Kevin Conroy to do the voices for this. And I had no idea they were pulling it out. So as a person of a certain age, they yanked Batman and Joker right out of our childhoods in the 90s cartoon. They couldn't have made a better decision than that. Thunder, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying they are the voices of Batman and Joker.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Thunder, I do not envy your position at all.
Agree.
I don't envy Thunder's position at all because my continuing stance for the last 6 years has been that Batman ran so that Spider-Man could swing and fly. I can't imagine going the other way around from Spider-Man doing the like amped up version of this and going back to this because it's methodical, right? It's rhythmic, it's methodical. Spider-Man, it's a little more frantic, but I had to get kind of back in the rhythm of it. The whole point was it was a rhythm battle, which was fun to get used to. But the other thing I remember from the first time I played was I hung just the henchman upside down from a gargoyle jumped over to another gargoyle, accidentally threw a batarang and cut him down onto his other henchman. And the first time they freaked out, I was like, oh, this is the greatest game I've ever played. I'm Batman. It's on. Let's go. But they did such a cool job. Again, like they didn't go, you've got references to a lot of lower tier villains and, or, like kind of like the D and F list of Batman's rogues gallery peppered throughout here. You don't have Two-Face obviously in this one, but you get a lot of A, maybe some B villains running around in this movie, and it was really cool seeing them, especially like you get into the Killer Croc fight. It's not like, you're not just going in and doing battle just into a punching fest. Like, you have to do stealth. You have to do stealth in that one. You have to be ready. You have to pay attention. I liked some of the things they did, and again, for some of you who have not played, you could probably skip Origins. Origins is okay and has probably the most annoying final battle in the entire series, but everything you wanted about the freedom and exploration you get in City and you get in Night. That it's really worth continuing playing both games of the series, because they do some stuff that narratively I think is different than you see in a lot of Batman things, and you get to see a lot of cool fights and a lot of cool villains that get brought into it. But I just remember I was there through the whole thing, and it was a blast, and it was so great to see. Like, let's be real, Batman on NES was terrible. Batman Returns had games, they were not good. Batman Forever had some really terrible, like they made multiple bad versions that were different from each other of Batman Forever. They couldn't even get one of the multiple versions of Batman Forever right. So finally we got a good Batman game. It was wonderful to see, wonderful to play, and they made all the right choices. So Info, I'm gonna kick it over to you, since there's no way for you to naturalistically say like, hey, well, here are my thoughts. So I'm gonna say, what about you? You didn't get to go.
All right. So I was thank for the long ramble. Actually made me long enough time to find my trophy logs from the PS3 version, because it's not a cross save. The PS3 and the PS4 is it's a remaster and part of the collection, so there's separate trophy lists. And I did this back in April and May of 2013 is when I originally played this game. So a couple of years after it had come out. And I remember liking it, and apparently at that time I chose to play it on normal, which is pretty much what I expect. I generally play things on normal. Like I said, I want to come back to difficulty in a minute, but I liked this game overall. I think my review on C3 sits at 3 stars, and I feel like okay with that. But also, like, anyone looks at my review history, they'll know I'm pretty critical in general. Hashtag brand username checks out.
There's a brand you have to maintain here. That's all.
There is. For me, 3 stars is good. 3 stars is not a bad rating. It's a good game. It's not one that I'm necessarily going out and recommending people play. Should you play this one? I don't know.
Yes.
Like, go play City. City's.
What did you say?
And City.
Oh, go
Arkham
play
City.
City. I thought you said don't play City. I was like, wait.
No,
yeah, if you skip the City, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. Skip straight to City if you want to play a Batman game, or if you just want to play a superhero game, go play Spidey. Because let's face it. And yes, absolutely. This game lays the groundwork for future games such as Spidey, and I can't fault it. It was fine. It was fine. Let's put it that way. I had fun. But yeah, let's use my segue here to talk difficulty. So I started playing the game on hard, and I was about 75% probably ish through the game. You get past Croc, and you come to this very small room. These elevators just full of thugs and a couple of titans, and that fight just hard stop me, just gut check, just gut punch right to the batarang. Because talk about 15-year-old game. This game doesn't have a way for you to really make multiple saves. There's no way to go back, load, like, oh, let me just go like grind out some XP somewhere, level up, and maybe I can be stronger. And I also did not know about the trick that Smeagol shot me over later, which is that apparently if you upgrade your armor in the middle of a fight, it gives you a full health refill, which can be used to significantly reduce the difficulty of some fights. But if you don't have a skill point ready, unless you're going to level up during the fight, which is asking a lot.
That's so the Batman equivalent of eating 87 cheese wheels in the middle of a dragon battle in Skyrim.
Yeah. And then also 15-year-old game. no way to drop difficulty in the middle of the game. So that was a full restart for me. Replayed on easy because I was behind. I was like, I don't have time for this. Easy is too easy. I mean, no judgment to anyone who, but like personally, I didn't feel challenged by the game on easy. I felt like it was just like you have to be like going out of your way to like really screw up before you get any sort of penalty on easy. So, I don't usually play ultra hard games. I'm not a Soulsborne fan. What did you all think of the difficulty? Let's go just in order I see you on my screen. So let's go Dan first.
I played on normal, and first time this time, yeah, I don't need it on easy. I'm okay with a little bit of a challenge. It's still achievable. I didn't do any of the tricks or glitches in that way, and just pretty straightforward. Again, once you kind of get the rhythm down of it, you learn how to use your dodges and counters effectively. I feel pretty comfortable. The Titan fight's just like, listen, those are just, once you're dealing with Titans all the time, it's its own monster.
Thunder.
Same. I've kind of played on normal, and I like that it wasn't too hard to figure out what to do. Like there are some games that even on normal mode, you're like, what do I do here? What do I do here? Like there's not very many hints either, so it's right where it needs to be as far as difficulty.
Smeagol.
Well, I was the glutton for punishment and played on hard, and like I was starting to regret it because that elevator fight was definitely the hardest fight in the game. I died so many times, but fortunately I was able to get through. But it is definitely a much harder challenge playing on hard because you don't have the notification anymore of one to counter. You don't have the exclamation mark above their heads. They can take so much more damage. They hit harder, but it felt good to be able to actually beat the game on hard.
For sure. Rav.
I unapologetically played it on easy.
No shame.
And that's just where I want to enjoy my gaming time these days. Like, there was still like Poison Ivy wasn't easy on easy. Some of those missions where you're trying to get the guy stealthily with all the machine guns still wasn't all that easy. And now in hindsight, I never unlocked the slinging up the enemies from the gargoyles. So I mean that would have really helped those battles.
That's like the first one I get.
Yeah, seriously.
In hindsight, right? But I really much enjoyed it. Again, I'm gaming these days for relaxation and enjoyment, and the story of it. Not so much to be awesome at it. We on the next game, right? It's Halo. I've never played Halo, and I started on easy, and unapologetically so.
I have not decided what I'm playing Halo on yet.
I'll be doing easy or normal.
Yeah, I have played before. I think on normal, so I'll probably do easy just for the sake of, my backlog doesn't need me spending hours and hours in Halo.
Right, like when on these single player games, I just want to sit back and enjoy. When I want a challenge, I play Kart and Splatoon and whatnot online with people that are far better than me.
Absolutely legit.
But for this,
you got me thinking about Bat Gadgets. Bat Gadgets. So you did not unlock inverted takedown, which, like Smeagol said, I think it was my first upgrade. I mean, that's so iconic.
That's its own playing on hard mode by not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There I actually did see videos. There are people that play that game on hard difficulty with no upgrades.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Completely insane.
Who are these masochists?
And no damage playthroughs too. It's like, how?
Well, how's one thing? Why is a whole another.
That.
Well, yeah. So Batman has a whole variety of gadgets and different takedown styles. So the game largely divides into, you're locked in a small room fighting a bunch of bad guys, or you're locked in maybe a slightly larger room where you've got to sneakily take down the bad guys. So between brawling and stealth, does anyone have like a clear winner in their mind? Like the game would be so much better if they had way more of this and way less of the other.
I don't like your tone here. I think it's perfect. Leave it alone.
I thought it had a good balance.
I feel I just answered that by saying I didn't have the inverted takedown, and therefore the stealth mode was really, really hard.
So you never said
I
you
I
never
want to
got to
punch
say
it
to
up.
yourself,
Punch it up.
"I'm Batman." Fine, that's your fault.
Right. 100%. I own
Skill
that.
issue.
These are my decisions, my actions. So yeah, no, I just fists and battering. Let's go.
Great.
You didn't even try to sneak up behind people and take them down that way?
Oh, I did at times. Oh, for sure. But I'd much rather have fists and battering.
That's fair.
But for whoever said it did have a great balance. I just didn't embrace one of those balances.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily implying. I was asking the question, Dan. So hostile. I asked, did you feel that there was a balance that you could have shifted?
Yeah, I never really felt like you said, like there's not a point where I was like, oh, I wish this part was more stealthy or this part was more hand to hand. It was good balance for sure.
Yeah, I will say the stealth sections on hard got a little tedious because there's Smeagol, you can relate. There's not a lot of room for error in those.
You
get
really have to take your
spotted
time.
and you're pretty much toast.
Well, especially as you get towards the end game, because that's the thing with the stealth. Like, it never gets boring because every time you're like, oh, every time I get like, oh, great, it's a stealth room. Then like, okay, the opponents start getting power, so you can't just methodically take them down in the same way. Like you have to up your game and pay more attention to.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the progression, the story of the game. You start out, Batman's escorting Joker into the asylum, and Joker's doing his usual taunting, and suddenly things go off the rails pretty quickly. I think I love that opening for kind of the cinematic nature of it. Without just being, fully pre-rendered cutscene, you are kind of playing through some of it, and then they tease you with this great, oh my God, that's Killer Croc. You know you're going to come back to that later in the game. What do you guys think of the opening?
I say
early
Chekhov's
chapter?
Killer Croc, the famous narrative device. Yes.
What
That
do you think of
opening
the
was
opening?
perfect.
Like up to where you get the explosive gel, so kind of that very early game, before you're kind of really let loose.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that opening was one of the better openings of all the games I've played. It was incredible. It really set a good tone. Back to the idea of the voice acting and how good it was. No, it was incredible.
I mean, that is
Sure.
one of the greatest openings in video game history, in my opinion. Just the again, like Dan said, bringing back those voice actors from your childhood and just how they set it up. I mean, you're not even really doing it. You're just walking down a hallway, but it just does such a great job of setting the mood for the game. And you realize, all right, this is going to be a serious take on Batman. It's not a Adam West Batman. Not that there's not a place for that, but it's like, all right, I'm going to be Batman.
No shark bat repellent or bat shark repellent in this game. No.
Wait, you didn't get that upgrade? Did you skip that one too?
I didn't. I missed.
Come on,
that
info. That's like the second upgrade I get.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So you
my
progress
first.
through
That's
the
why
game
I don't get inverted takedown. I get the anti-shark bat repellent.
And anti-shark. Yes.
It's got to be in the game
and
for a reason. I better get it now.
Yeah. If you are under age 30 and listening to this and confused about bat shark repellent, go check out the OG Batman movie. The movie, not the TV series, although there's something worth a shot too. But
With the late great Adam West.
It's
That
like
is-
1966 or 68, something like that.
something like that. Yeah, that is a choice to watch that movie. So you progress through the game, and not too long, you're going to find yourself face to face with Scarecrow. And let's talk about the Scarecrows, because all right, okay, we got the big spoiler warning up, but just last call, people. This is this is a pretty big spoiler, So you come face to face with this absolutely larger than life Scarecrow, and like he's taken up the entire screen, and Batman's like an inch tall, and it's this complete nightmare escape, and it's a forced stealth section where you have to avoid the Scarecrow's gaze. You're creeping and crouching, hiding behind cover. What do you guys think of those sections? Like, especially I want to hear from Thunder, who first reaction when you came to those for the first time. The rest of this is a replay. We knew it.
His opinion's in the chamber. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it gives you that nostalgic 2D platformer vibe, but it's still a 3D game, and it's not. I mean, I would be lying if I said that I got through all of them in one try. Like it's hard enough to where you're like, oh crap, okay, I got to take this a little bit differently, just the timing of everything. But I think more so, like I said, the whole 2D platformer vibe that it gave off was a good okay, let's take a break from this 3D open world game and throw this in the mix and then come back to it. And Scarecrow is honestly one of my favorite villains that he's gone up against. So, and they did.
I'm just glad you didn't bring up the Scorpion battle in Spider-Man, because that was. I went the other way of Scorpion. They ran the Scarecrow playbook. I see.
Any quick comments on Scarecrow?
I like
the repeats.
I like that it was a change of pace. It was the same with Kronk. It gives you a change of pace from the rest of the game. Really mixes up the gameplay, and I think it makes the game more enjoyable because it's not. You got that balance, and yeah, those 2D platforming sections are a lot of fun.
Here's my Scarecrow problem. I'm just going to say it, not to jump ahead 2 games. I like John Noble. I like John Noble in Lord of the Rings. I liked him in Fringe. He should not have been recast as Scarecrow. I think they should have kept the same actor, assuming he was alive. I don't know what happened there, but they recast Gordon and they recast the Scarecrow, and that was really disappointing and jarring to me in Arkham Knight. I thought they were really good. Both of them were, Scarecrow is really good acting-wise in this game. It was a shame. That's all. Shout out to this guy who played Scarecrow.
Dino Andrade, apparently, according to the wiki I have up, still alive.
Okay, so since we're talking about Scarecrow, I gotta ask: did anyone get freaked out in the third? I'm talking about your first playthrough for those who played before. And you get freaked out in the third Scarecrow when all of a sudden it looked like your game was glitching.
Yep.
So good. So good.
I remembered that trick somehow. I had a split second of wait, no, I remember this somehow from 13 years ago, whatever.
Even though my first playthrough was only a year and a half ago, I did not remember that, and I was panicking.
Especially being on PC, you're just like, okay, what is my computer doing now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would be worse on PC.
But Smeagol, everything you said, I think was bang on. It was it was a nice change of pace. You explored kind of that inner side of Batman. I thought it was perfect.
Yeah. I agree. The change of pace is nice because, as the balance was good. We said surely the balance was good, but there's not a lot of, depth necessarily to okay, this is the punching room, this is the sneaky room. The Scarecrow rooms give you something that's a little bit different than those. It's a nice mix. So you do Scarecrow. You have a very brief encounter with Bane. Usually, hopefully, very brief, as you learn the game's core mechanic of how to stop bad guys, which is apparently chuck a boomerang into their face as they're charging. Yes, as the patented batarang to the face and make the enemy run into the wall will be used pretty much for the rest of the game.
And for they teach us that in Philly growing up. Like you carry boomerangs around and just like
Just batarang to the face,
Yeah.
and that's all it takes. Okay. Yeah, Dan's troubled childhood notwithstanding.
Obviously, Dan did not move to Bel Air.
I was Northwest Philly, not West Philly.
But Dan is a master of the inverted takedown, I'm sure.
Yes. Dan just inverted takedown all the time. Love to see
He
it.
spent a lot of his childhood on gargoyles.
Yes. Shout out to another great TV show. As long as we're just going to keep doing this. All right. You clean up Bane, and you're back at Scarecrow again. Second time is more or less the same. Pretty similar. Then we're gonna go visit our good friend Harley. What do we think of Harley Quinn in this game? You don't fight her directly. You fight her army of goons. I like the voice acting. I thought Harley was on point. I wish they'd done a little bit more with the character, but maybe some of that's just like, in the 13 years that have passed, Harley has become such a big part of the Batman universe.
Well, they've also given her characterization in the last 5 years that they haven't given her before. Like Tim and Denny wrote her in the 90s of hey, what if we had a lady Joker? And that was the extent of the thought they put into it for probably 25 years or so, until they finally said we should probably give her some pathos and really do something with this beyond just the beyond the gaslighting background she had. I think that was the extent of it. They just kept kind of running that playbook over and over again until the last few years. So she was just there.
Moving on.
Yeah, Dan, I think you summed it up really well. In hindsight, it would have been so awesome to have more of her, an actual battle like we did with Poison Ivy. Because it was just you beat up her guys and then you throw her in her cell. And I mean, later on in the game, when you go back there cleaning up, she's in the cell talking to you, but it was just pretty superficial.
Yeah. It felt a little forced, a little fast at the end. It's oh, okay, well, we've just wrapped up Harley. Moving on. After Harley, you get the two Titans fight, which wasn't really that much more difficult than one Titan by that point. Fun fact: good place to get a trophy by defeating a Titan without using any batarangs, which you basically.
Oh, you're playing on hard.
Yeah, not if you're playing on hard. Don't try it there on hard.
You have to do the gel explosive. Was that what it was? I'm trying to remember. You had to have gel explosives placed at the right time. I think I can't remember anymore.
That's the easiest way. Yeah, is the gel.
Yeah, the gel, or you can try to get them to crash into something where there's kind of I think there's explosive containers in the room. If you can get one stunned, then you can get on them and use them to smack the other one around. And if you get it kind of in a good cycle, you can kind of get enough damage on the other one to then stun that one and kind of just get them in the walk cycle between each other.
Yeah, that's kind of how I did that go around. It was cool though when I realized, oh shit, I can jump on his back.
Yeah.
Because again, they do a good job of not giving everything away, so I didn't know that you could do that right off the bat.
Yeah.
But it is cool when you can figure that out.
You got a third and final Scarecrow, which you talked about a little bit earlier. The game tries to trick you into thinking your game has crashed, which was amusing, perhaps, if not terrifying.
A bit of both. Let's call it both.
Yeah. There was some older game that did that too. It's eluding me at the moment, but it's famous for it.
Requiem.
Maybe.
It's like
there's something I think it jokes about deleting your save even.
It's a GameCube game.
The horror one. I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
Okay, there we go. Great fact checking. Moving on from third Scarecrow, Killer Croc. I really liked what they did with Croc. So here's a boss fight that's not a fight. I mean, Scarecrow also kind of, but like by the time you done third Scarecrow, it's like I've done two of these right. Do I need to do a third? Killer Croc, you've got to go around and collect, the MacGuffins as these spores that you're going to use to counteract the Titan virus that's going around everywhere. And okay, the whole time you're trying to do that, you're trying to be sneaky, stealthy, because if you make too much noise, you run too fast, Killer Croc's going to hear you, because somehow Batman has completely forgotten how to, like, I don't know, crawl or use his grapple gun on the ceiling. It magically doesn't work in this room. Lots of MacGuffin reasons. And then you collect the last one, and suddenly it's a full-blown chase to get out. He's appearing randomly behind you or in front of you. You've got to, stun him or dodge. You're never landing a punch on him, not once. I mean, you probably could land one punch on him and then you'd be smacked down. But as someone who appreciates more thinking than doing on these types of things, I liked that this was a boss fight that didn't require just smack him around until he loses all his health. What did you guys have to think?
I agree. Like, just like with the Scarecrow parts, it's a good change of pace for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, with the Scarecrow, it's that change of pace. Gives you something different so you don't get complacent. Also, helpful to if anyone listening plays the game, when you replay the game, it is helpful to have the upgrade for the explosive gel, because then in that last section when he shakes you, you don't have to time it. If you have it so that it's set to proximity detonate, he'll blow up once he runs past that. You don't have to have that. You don't have to be sitting there like, when do I hit it?
Well, that's interesting. I had never thought of that.
Yeah, because
Trav's still trying to find the explosive gel. He didn't get. I know it forces you to take it in the game. He said, "No, thank you, Alfred. No, thank you."
Yeah, we're doing this in hard mode. Explosive gel. What's that? No, unfortunately required to beat the game.
Maybe not my Batman.
Sequence break, maybe. I did capture that screenshot of my second play of may cause harm to bystanders or something, Dan, because you didn't believe me that was in. I'll have to take that up. All right. From Croc, we've got another Titan henchman fight because it got a little repetitive first. That's where it's like, okay, do we have no other boss ideas other than just throwing me more random Titans? That's the fight that bounced me out of hard mode. Which was probably good because it probably would just happen a second later when you get to Poison Ivy. Which hopefully none of you took the long way around. I tried. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta get to the Botanical Gardens. I'll exit up, through the elevator all the way back to the city to try to get into the Botanical Gardens. That doesn't work. So then you have to navigate all the way back down to the sewers through the elevator and exit out to Botanical Gardens the way the game wants you to. And doing that elevator climb twice is not fun. So the Poison Ivy fight is just brutal. Just lots going on. You got.
I can't imagine that on hard.
Yeah, Smeagol, tell us about that fight on hard.
I actually didn't think it was that difficult. I died once. I restarted once because I wasn't doing great, and then I died once. And because there's a bit of a soft checkpoint after you deplete her first set of health, that's where I had died. And so I started with full health at the second half of the fight, and then I was able to. It's just a matter of constantly dodging and quick throw battering. Dodge, quick throw the battering. And when you have all the enemies on there, it's a matter of just trying to keep moving and let the vines do all the damage on the enemies. And I really didn't have to throw all that many punches in that fight.
So what makes it different, normal versus hard? Like, is it just more henchmen? Is it like, because that's similar as far as how I completed it on normal.
Not so much that there's more, it's just They do more damage,
Okay. So
and
it's
they
just the
take
damage
more
threshold and
damage.
stuff. Okay. That makes sense.
Your hits are weak. Their hits are strong. I mean, like that's the
Guns,
biggest difference I
bullets,
noticed between normal.
especially bullets will
Guns
just
are brutal.
wreck you.
Yeah.
And in two, 3 shots, you're dead.
Yeah.
Even at full armor.
That was the worst part about stealth on hard. Was like you screw up once in stealth on hard, and an enemy with a gun is going to take you down. Just there's no recovery. So you get through Titan, you get through Ivy. You've got 2 more Titan guards to deal with, and then we're on to Endgame. We've got a big party outside, and we gotta go say hi to our good friend Joker finally.
I do like the decor throughout though too. Like all the party decor is broken out there too.
Yeah, the fireworks
and all that. Like okay,
good.
it was a nice touch.
Yeah.
The repeaters. Did you guys know about the achievement on that part before you completed that part?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I need to do that was because I had read the Steam achievement first, so I was
Be right
expecting
back.
that.
You guys keep going.
Yeah, and I was like, because I'm thinking about going for the platinum. That's why I was playing on hard. And I was like, man, I really don't want to have to play this a 4th time. So I played it years ago, like twice. And so I'm playing this. This is on my PS4 now, so I'm actually getting trophies. I was like, man, I really don't want to do this a 4th time, but man, that means I'm gonna have to do this optional fight on hard difficulty. But I was able to do it. There's a trick though, because they don't attack you unless you provoke them. You go and you do the explosive gel at 3 points down the hallway, and then just trigger that, and then it knocks them all down, and you can take out 2 or 3 of them right away.
Yeah.
And then get into the fight. This actually wasn't as hard as I was expecting. I did that a few times, but it wasn't as hard as I was expecting.
Yeah, I didn't. I got my little bronze trophy back in 2009 or 2010. I went back into my PlayStation app and looked through. See, I'm like, no, it was Christmas of 2009. I got it because I started it right after Christmas, and yeah, I got the Party Pooper achievement, and also Smeagol. Fun fact: the PlayStation 3 version, you only get a gold trophy for 100%ing the game.
I have the PS4 one.
Yeah, the three. No, they didn't do platinums for that. That was platinum trophies used to mean something, kids. It used to be a proper country.
I don't know if I'm going to get the platinum because it requires getting like all the medals for all the challenges, and that grinds my gears.
Yeah,
like why?
I'm not putting the time into that.
I have that. I got this. This is the easiest Riddler trophy game. The Riddler trophies and the next 2 are insane. I got all the Riddler trophies. I just haven't beaten it on hard. That's why it looks like that's what I'd have to do. It's just like the hard completion achievements on the PlayStation 3.
Oh, so it doesn't require getting all the medals on the challenges?
I did that.
No.
So I have no problem with that. I'm looking through my list here, and I have all of that. Well, apparently I didn't catch a Batarang. Apparently, I gotta do that. I guess I don't know. Who knew?
Yeah, that's all I'm missing is the challenges and the combo where you do every single move in one combo.
So let's not dance around it. Let's get into before Info gets back. Let's get into the final fight and we just wrap it up before he returns. And just like be gone. We just all be gone. Irish goodbye him. But so Thunder, I want to start with you because again, this was your first go. Did you kind of think this was what was coming, like what it was leading towards as far as like a final fight is concerned?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, not that it was too obvious, but once you get to a certain point, you know, okay, Joker's going to inject himself with the serum, and you're going to have to fight a roided out Joker.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna deal with a psychotic clown. He's going to get a massive dose of steroids and have bones spiking from his body.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. No, good. Go for it.
I was honestly disappointed with. I found the Joker fight to be so much easier than Poison Ivy. Like I don't know. I just struggled with Poison Ivy, and then when I got the Joker, it was a minute and a half, and we're done.
It was another Titan fight, another wave of enemies. Like it wasn't like as much as like the Poison Ivy fight. Like okay, you're dealing. They did a good job again from the boss design, like with Killer Croc and Scarecrow and Poison Ivy. And we're talking about the fact that they took these characters and made boss fights. And I use fights loosely with Killer Croc, but they took these boss scenarios of taking these characters down, and then Joker like, we're just gonna do this and like throw waves of henchmen.
It's just another.
And a quick grapple gun, fight. And you're done.
Yeah, like I think that was the only thing that made it different from the Titan fights was that you had to grapple them. But I mean, like you said, the other three bosses, they had their own spin on the fights, which made them great. But I do agree that it was just another Titan fight. And I think just the build up to it wasn't very like, oh, what's gonna happen? Because you could, like I said, you could tell what was gonna happen by the time you got to it.
It was more suspenseful going to it than it actually was participating in it. Like when you've got all the henchmen there and the party stuff. Like, okay, what are they going to bring me now? What are they going to bring me now? And like, yeah. Again, another thing I think the other two games do a better job of with their final fights. With 3, again, I hate the final fight of Origins, the Firefly fight, and that is just terrible.
So I think this is a good time to ask, since we started. So we're talking about Joker, and we started with who's your favorite Batman. So now's the time to ask, who's your favorite Joker? Who's the best Joker?
You're asking as if it's not a loaded question. That the popular answer, the correct answer.
Oh, Dan, you go ahead. You finish that sentence.
The popular answer is Heath Ledger. The correct answer is Mark Hamill.
Okay, Heath Ledger was nothing short of incredible.
Absolutely, he was so good at the Joker. The Joker killed him. That's like, sorry, no disrespect.
But,
like he
I didn't think
good.
I mean, Jack Nicholson was crazy. Heath Ledger was outright insane. And then Mark Hamill, he crushed it. He was so good.
Go ahead, say Leto Thunder. Go ahead, say it. I'll kick you right off.
He's not my favorite, that's for sure. But I don't think he's the worst.
Don't give me that 5 minutes of the Snyder cut he's in the end of either, and tell me that's a justification for
no.
For either the Snyder cut or Leto's existence.
I mentioned this in Channel 3 the other day. Like it was just a bad movie. Like it was. Some people think that he's a bad actor. I don't think he's a bad actor. He's a better singer than he is an actor, but
there were a lot of bad decisions made, and a lot of people that should have stepped in and said, "Hold on a second here, hold on."
Yeah, they just didn't do him justice at all. No pun intended.
Darkwing Dad gave a definitive ranking. He said Mark Hamill with Nicholson being second and Heath in third. Wow, that's a scorching take.
For me, I can't put Mark Hamill first just because it's. And no offense to voice actors, but it's just voice acting. You know what I'm saying? Like unless they're doing, what's it called?
Motion capture?
Yeah, motion capture. You're just voice acting. Like, again, I'm not putting shame to any of it because I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? But when you see somebody physically acting out the character, I feel like that just, especially if they're good at it, I feel like that just puts them on top.
I'm sorry, entering the chat now, laugh at Brian and his Robitussin bear. They have comments they'd like to share.
I was waiting for someone to bring up Brian.
Is there any love for Cesar Romero out here? Like the fact that
when a guy can't bother to shave his mustache, you don't even get to be in the discussion.
He refused to shave it. He's clearly got a mustache under the white makeup. There's something to be said about Cesar Romero.
He's still better than Lito.
Back then, he was great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was great back then. I would put him like right in the middle, just because you know what I'm saying, he is one of the first.
He wasn't even the best villain on the show.
No, he wasn't.
No.
But I agree with Cody as far as Leto being better than Phoenix. I didn't like Joaquin's Joker. Like
I don't even want to. That's a movie that I haven't seen the second. I'm not even talking about that movie. I hate that. I hate the first one so much. I
mentioned this to somebody a while back. I feel like if they had Leto in Joaquin's movie, it would have been a better movie.
Hot takes.
my
All right, I am back.
Strong,
Thank you all for
strong
carrying
take.
on.
Okay.
Sorry, Smeagol started Joker rankings. It all went to because we talked about the final fight. And just kind of like we agreed, disappointing, just kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
specific, not universal. And then Smeagol started another fight. He said, "Who's the best Joker?" And then he pulled a pin on a grenade and walked away. And now you get to come clean up the mess.
Yep.
There's bits of
The chat
shrapnel
in Twitch
everywhere.
is popping off. We're popping off.
Joaquin Phoenix bony spine is sitting in the corner over there somewhere. I don't know. It's all getting weird.
Something. All right. Well, we have about 5 minutes left in the hour. So, final thoughts on Batman? Just
A couple things I want to bring up real quick. I talked about this with Info and Travgy when we had our initial attempt at doing this. But did any of you find the secret room in the warden's office?
I think
Yes.
I did. That's an achievement, right?
It's not an achievement.
Oh, it's not.
It's
But
not a collectible.
it's a tease for the following.
Oh,
So
maybe I
there's
did it.
3 panels that you have to play the explosive goo on. If you do it just the right spot in the warden's office, the wall will blow up, and you don't see it in your detective mode like with any other breakable wall. And you go in there, and the warden has a map for Arkham City, teasing the next game.
No, I don't think that I got that.
I was
Yeah,
I'll just say
when we
Arkham-
tried this last week, Smeagol coached me right through it, and it's there. I never knew about it. It was pretty cool.
Arkham City is my parting thought. Go play that game.
go play
Again,
Arkham City.
Good for everyone who played this, but again, as I think Info said, you probably could skip right to it if you haven't played Arkham Asylum. I think you could skip just fine. It's a very cool opening as well. You get everything you would get, but just with quality of life improvements. Like the other 2 games, as much as, again, much like Mass Effect 3, I liked. Arkham Knight has its flaws, and it makes the Batmobile tank gets a little tiresome in the end, but it's definitely worth playing.
Well, I might have to pick that up since I bought the Game of the Year edition. I can get City for $4.
Yeah, I would say you just go ahead and do it. I'm surprised it didn't just do a 3-pack. I thought they just had an upgrade.
Well, they have one. I didn't buy the 3-pack. I bought just the.
But City is the best of the 3.
I need to give City another chance. It's just the first time I tried it, I was just overwhelmed by just how much and how it was just. I'm not a big fan of open world. There's too much to do, and I just get overwhelmed. But I do need to give that one another try.
I started it last year after I finished playing Asylum, and I just stalled out. I can't even really remember why, but without a doubt, having played Asylum, I am going to get back into this and finish that trilogy. And I think I said in some of the chats, like, I'm definitely going a deep, dark dive into the whole Batman lore now. Like, I'm going to watch Penguin. I still haven't watched the Batman all the way through.
You're not missing much there.
Just set 3 days aside. Give yourself plenty.
I
of
thought it was
breaks.
about a week, but
again, I liked it, to be clear, but it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have to say, what I really enjoyed about this game too is just the amount of detail the developers put into it. Like I already mentioned, the Easter egg. They already were planning on City. It's cool too. Like as the game progresses, you see Batman change, like his outfit. Like you start seeing that he's got some tears in his cape, some rips on his outfit. I think too, like his face may even be beat up a little bit. Just showing that extra little bit of detail. Like they put so much into this game, and as someone who enjoyed the collectathons, like Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, it was fun for me going and trying to find all the little Riddler trophies too. Just again, that's a big part of it too, is of finding all that extra lore, is tracking all those down. It's just so impressive how much the developers crammed into this game and how much detail they put into it. I think that probably might be my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's a great closing thought. Go play City, or if you really are patient, you can put it on the, make a recommendation. Maybe we'll pick it next year for one of our follow-up games. Which leads me into our housekeeping final thoughts here. We have, currently playing Halo Master Chief, the original OG Combat Evolved. Although everyone's probably playing it via the Master Chief Collection, let's be honest. No one's playing it on the original 360. Bonus points if you are. If you are, let us know. We'll
I'll
find
be
some
playing on
XP for that.
360.
Go back to the original.
Spiegel.
I have a 360 in the house. I could set it all up, but I'd still have to then buy it.
That's the last Xbox.
No,
I own,
only
is the
only bonus
360.
points if you're playing it on the original with the Duke. And I want pictures of the Duke.
I don't think I own a Duke.
Yes. Following Halo, we will have kind of a little holiday break where we have picked 3 games to fill up 6 weeks. These are kind of shorter games. And we have picked Donkey Kong Country, celebrating quite the anniversary in November. And we have we picked I picked Doki Doki Literature Club because I am just weird like that and want to make you all play very, very strange games that are not at all what you think they are. And then Spiegel picked Tony Hawk Pro Skater. He's kind of opened it up to say any Tony Hawk Pro Skater, 1 to 4. Let's go. Let's go relive our childhoods. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So those will be our upcoming games for the rest of this calendar year 2024. And starting off in January of 2025, we will be playing Star Wars, a little game you might have heard of. Which one? No, we all know it's one of those Jedi games. I always get the titles mixed up, but it's one of the Jedi games, the first one.
Fallen Order is the first
Fallen
one.
Order.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Okay.
I'm still making my way through
Fallen
Survivor, but Fallen Order was so good. I'll do it again.
Yes. All right, so that is it. Thank you once again, Dan, for the production assistance. Thank you to Joel Willis, our executive, sponsor, producer of Channel 3, and we will be seeing you all next time.